Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS to give us his truth and Holy Spirity, and salutations to all you arguing this word throughout the four corners of the earth in sincerity and in truth. This lesson will be touching this coming World War. World War III is upon us, and you have all these different countries having tensions among them. You know, you have tensions between Nato, America, and America. You have tensions between America and the Middle East, and NATO and the Middle East. You have tension between, Russia and NATO. You have tension between China and America. So it's nothing but conflicts, that are brewing all over the world, which is going to lead to this great world war spoken about in the scriptures. The scriptures, is the script for this reality, man. Everything that's happening in this world is spoken about in the Bible thousands of years ago, because everything goes according to the word of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Matter of fact, let me go to that. Real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 10. It says, "For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." So the word of the Most High doesn't go out void. Just like rain, when it comes down, it causes vegetation and crops to grow. So the word of the Lord, when it goes out, it causes prophecies to take place on the earth, right? It doesn't just, fall into the nether realm. It causes things to happen because it's the vibration that's going out and, affecting, the world pretty much. It's not our words that we speak. It's the word of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So going back to this article from the People's Voice.tv, and the title reads, "Poland issues emergency military draft for all men. World War III is coming." It says the Polish government has issued an emergency military draft for all men in the country amid fears that Europe is about to enter World War III with Russia. It says in a speech to the Polish Parliament, Prime Minister Donald Tusk said the government aimed to enlist every man in the country within the next few months. So you see, all these tensions, is gearing these nations to prepare for war. War is, the main topic that's in the air right now. This is another one. It says Dutch government issues urgent World War III warning to citizens. Stockpile food and water now. It says the Dutch government has urged citizens to begin stockpiling food, water, and essential supplies in anticipation for World War III breaking out in the coming weeks. So they're expecting to go to war with Russia within the next few months, right? But this is not what's going to be the start of World War III. We know, according to prophecy, World War III is going to start, with Israel and Iran, attacking each other. Israel is going to attack Iran, causing them to having to retaliate. And, America is going to be on Israel's side. As you know, Donald Trump, he's an avid Zionist. He supports Israel to the fullest, right? He's talking all that shit about Zelensky, playing with World War III. Well, he himself played with World War III. He blew up the Iranian general Soleimani back in 2020, right, which almost sparked World War III. And he's telling Israel that they should attack Iranian nuclear facilities, right? And it's come out in the reports that Israel's planning to attack Iran sometime this year. And they said it might be in the next coming weeks, because they're becoming more emboldened, being that Trump, is backing them up, right? So I have this other article is from Mirror.co.uk, and it says Pentagon's nuclear attack prep revealed amid World War III fears. The U.S. Department of Defense said it would complete a new nuclear attack scenario in order to prepare the country against any attempt to unleash nuclear weapons in North America, right? And Trump, at his speech, he was talking about building a Iron Dome kind of defense system for America, just like Israel has, and he was boasting about them being able to do it because they have that technology. That's why the scriptures tell you that the pride of Esau's heart has deceived them, because there's nothing that's going to protect America from the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Now let's get the prophecies on World War III. This is Revelation chapter. Matter of fact, let's start with, I think, 16 first. Let's see. Yep, this is Revelation 16 and 12. It says, "And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, that the waters thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared." And if you look it up now, the Euphrates River over the course of the years has been drying up more and more, right? And this is because the Heavenly Father is getting ready to bring the armies over there to the Middle East for this great world war, right? Let's see. Let's jump down to verse 16. It says, "And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon," right? Which is Armageddon, which means mountain of troops, which is that region over there in the Middle East, right? Slakia. Let's get Revelation 12. I think it's Revelation 20. Loosed. Yep, this is Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. "And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison," which that 1,000 years speaking about the period of the medieval period, where Jake ruled Europe. It was called the Dark Ages. For 1,000 years, so-called black people ruled all over Europe, right? And Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Now, Satan, when you read with understanding, is speaking about the so-called white men as a whole, but mainly speaking about their elites, right? The Illuminati. It says shall be loosed out of his prison. So for 1,000 years, when we ruled Europe, you had the so-called white men at the bottom. They were our servants in Europe. They were in bondage, and the bulk of them dwelt over there in the Caucasus Mountains. They were driven out. The scriptures prophesied that in the book of Job, that they were driven out from the face of men. They were base men. Some to that effect, right? They became cavemen. That's why whenever you see commercials about cavemen, it's always so-called white people, right? So it says Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. So that's what happened. You had the bubonic plague, which they call it the Black Plague because it was killing black people, so-called black people. And it pretty much wiped out millions of Jakes all over Europe, weakened us, right? And Esau crept his way into different positions of power and eventually, freed himself, right? They got loose out of their prison and they went out and pushed this a manifest destiny, right? This Renaissance era, which means rebirth. Why was it called rebirth or Renaissance? Because it was the rebirth of the Roman Empire, which is them fulfilling prophecy once more, of the beast being Rome, having their deadly wound healed, right? So it says, verse 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle. Gog and Magog is speaking about Russia, right? So you have the elites. They're the ones that are orchestrating this Third World War because they want to cut down the population of the earth to a manageable amount of 500 million. And the ways they're going to do that is by the way of famine, by the way of civil wars, epidemics, and ultimately World War III, right? That's in the works. That's their agenda. It says to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. So that's the elite's agenda. Now, let's get Revelation 11. There's this quote that says, what? All wars are bankers' wars. The elites, the bankers, they fund both sides of the war, right? And they profit from both sides because both sides go into massive debt trying to keep up with, supplying their military, so they borrow money from the central banks to, get military equipment, to get funding for everything, right? And on top of that, it causes the stock markets to crash. It causes people to sell off their assets. And that's where the elites and their big corporations come in and buy all assets for pennies on a dollar. Their motto is you want to buy when blood is in the streets, right? So this is Revelation 11 and 14. It says, the second woe is past, which is World War II. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. World War III is right around the corner. This is why you're having all these talks about prepping for war, all these talks about drafts and, preparing food and supplies, for those times. Let me do this real quick. Let me save this for later. Let's go. It's not Karl Marx. It's Albert Pike. Pike 3 World Wars. In fact, let's do Albert Pike World War 3. Okay, this is Albert Pike, which is a known Freemason, a 33rd degree Freemason, a Satanist. You see it on this collar. You see the 33, right? And then at the bottom of that thing, that necklace, you see what? It's an eagle there, which shows you that these are the Edomites. The so-called white man is Esau Edom, right? But this is his quote for World War III. It says, the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenda of the Illuminati. Between the agenda of the Illuminati is Israel, because Israel is a state that was commissioned by the British, under the Balfour Declaration, right, by Rothschild, Lord Rothschild, to be commissioned to be a state for the Jewish people after World War II, right? So this is so it shows you that Israel is going to be the ones to cause World War III. It says by taking advantage of the differences between the agenda of the Illuminati, between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. So it shows you that World War III is not going to happen by, Ukraine and Russia. It's going to happen in the Middle East between Israel and Iran and those Arab countries. It says the war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other, right? And that is going to be the case. The scriptures talk about there being a great shaking in the land of Israel. In the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, the Most High is going to use Gog and Magog along with those Arab countries to shoot missiles at Israel to cleanse the heathen out of that land. Because right now it's nothing but heathens there. The so-called white man claiming to be a Jew, right? They're Edomites, specifically of the tribe of Amalek. You got Arabs there, which are Ishmaelites, fighting over land that doesn't belong to neither of them. That land belongs to the Israelites, which is you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So we see that this Third World War has always been in the works. It's always been their agenda, which is why the scriptures prophesies of it, which ultimately is Yahweh Bashim Yahshua's agenda, because man's goings are of the Lord. This is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So every ancient war was fought with swords clanging, swords and shields clanging, and the sound of men suffering from getting stabbed, getting dismembered, guts spilled out, horses galloping, the cries of horses getting stabbed and dying, so it's a tumultuous noise, right? It's a overwhelming noise, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So this specific war is not going to be fought in traditional fashion. It's going to be fought with nuclear missiles, right? Burning and fuel of fire. So now let's go to Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. It says, For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. That's right. So the day is going to come that's going to burn like an oven, which is talking about what? A day where the earth feels like it's on fire. And how is that going to take place? By the way of World War III. It says, And all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the scriptures tell you what? Pride goes before destruction. And who's more prideful than the American people, man? The scriptures call Babylon the Great the most proud. And it's ruled by the proudest people, Esau, Edom, which is why the Lord told them in the book of Obadiah that the pride of their heart have deceived them. So the Lord said they're going to be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Yeah, because America is going to be totally wiped off the face of the earth, pursuant to Isaiah 34, Isaiah 13, right? And many other scriptures speak about the total destruction of Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, right? So now let's go to the book of this is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. It says, Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshua power, unto the day that I rise up to the prey. That's right. So we're waiting on Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. We're not supposed to be taking matters into our own hands. You got these Israelites, telling you, we got to gather up together, get our own weaponry and communities so that we could take Esau down. Well, that's not, the plan that the Lord has, man. The Lord is going to be the one to take us out of this place. We're not going to get up out of here by our own power, man. So it says, Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, unto the day that I rise up to the prey. The prey being Esau, Edom, and the other nations. It says, For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. That's right. So this is the Lord's purpose, is to gather the nations, to bring upon them his anger, man, his vengeance by the way of the missiles. This is why the nations are being gathered in the Middle East region. You got all these Arabs over there. You got American troops over there. You got Turkish troops over there. You're going to have European troops over there, Chinese troops over there. It's going to be the world's armies are going to be gathered there for judgment. Right. So it says, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. That's right. So the whole earth is going to feel the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. Mainly America is going to be totally wiped out, but other parts of the earth are going to feel that fire. Right. The thousands of square mileage that's around America is going to feel the fire from this place getting blown to smithereens. And the scriptures tell you that the nations from their lands, they're going to behold and see the smoke of America's burning going up into space, right? So, America's going to be totally wiped out. And you're going to have other parts of the earth, such as China, Russia, these European countries, these Middle Eastern countries, they're going to get hit with nukes too. So the whole earth is going to feel the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So then now let's go to Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them, he have delivered them to the slaughter." That's right. So, the Most High is sending his son to make war with the armies of the earth. That's why when you read Revelation, the 19th chapter, it talks about how Yahweh Shah is going to go conquering, right? What is it? Revelation 19. And I think Revelation 6 as well. It talks about the white cloud, Yahweh Shai riding that white horse, conquering the nations, man. That's why the scriptures say he's going to have many crowns upon his head. So it says, "For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies." Why is the Lord angry with these nations? Because they enslaved his chosen people, the Israelites. It says, "He have utterly destroyed them, he have delivered them to the slaughter by the way of his missiles." It says, "Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood." That's right. So, they're going to have their conventional wars over there in the Middle East region where, they're fighting regular guerrilla warfare and, with the Arabs, between themselves, America clashing with European countries and NATO over there and losing troops, shooting bullets, shooting, regular tactical missiles at them. And eventually it's going to get to the point where they're going to have to start dropping nukes. This is why the scriptures say the third world is going to come quickly. World War I and World War II, where, they lasted about, 5 and 6 years or something like that each. But this third world war is not going to be long because you have nukes involved. And when nukes is involved, each side has, preemptive strike plan, where you strike your enemy before you get striked, right? So it's going to cause a mutually assured destruction, which is known as MAD. So it says, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. So how's the heavens going to be dissolved? By the way of missiles. Those nuclear explosions have the power to melt the elements. That's why the scriptures describe the day of the Lord, which Lord's what I'm going to get in 2 Peter. It says the elements is going to melt with fervent heat, right? It says, "In the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll," which is that mushroom cloud. It does a scroll motion. You have those ancient scrolls, which are books, where you have to roll them apart in order to read it. And when you look at the way that the smoke rolls around the center, it rolls just like a roll. So that's why it says the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth forth from the vine, and as the fallen fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Edom and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Esau, Edom, as you so-called white people. So this third world war is going to be your own destruction, right? And the destruction of the heathens too. Because when you read Obadiah, it goes into the judgment of Esau, but it says, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen," because Esau, Edom is the end of the world, the end of the age of the heathens ruling this world, right? And there's going to be the transition from that to the age, the world of the Israelites. It says, "The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord, Yahweh shall have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea." So America is going to be sacrificed to appease Yahweh Shah's wrath. It says, "And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, in the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion." So this is the Lord's vengeance for what you nations have done to his chosen people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're in constant state of oppression. For centuries, we haven't been able to get up from underneath you, man. You have been the head and we have been the tail. So now the Lord is going to set things how they're supposed to be and put Israel as the head and you nations as the tail. He's going to put all the curses that he put upon us upon you heathens, man. It says, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. That from generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. Which is going into Babylon the Great, ruled by the Edomites, right? I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but, it goes into how it's going to be desert creatures dwelling in America after it gets annihilated, right? So now, let me get 2 Peter 3. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and all the works that are therein shall be burnt up. That's right. So the heavens is going to pass away with a great noise. The loud explosion from the missiles, man, is going to make the heavens pass away with great noise, and the elements melt with fervent heat. Now, you got elements that are heat resistant, right? Very resistant to intense heat, but they're going to melt in that day. It shows you that it's speaking about nuclear destruction, for it to melt even the air that you breathe, right? Because every element has a melting point, and, when the missiles come, all of them are going to melt, man, with no exception. There's not going to be any buildings left, any people, any type of anything, man. It's going to be nothing but ashes. It says the earth also and all the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Yeah, just like the earth felt the flood, the earth is going to feel that fire, but it's not going to be destroyed totally. The Lord is going to have the Israelites come back and cleanse the land, and bless it. It's going to be reformed. The Lord said he's going to make new heavens and a new earth, right? So now let's go to Joel. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. That's right. So we're in a time of war, World War III. You got all the heathens, they're preparing their military for war, right? They're making their technology more efficient. And you got these nations buying all kinds of military equipment from Russia, because Russia right now has the best military technology, right? So all the men of war are going to draw near to the Middle East region. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So focus on your military technology. Put all your budget into your military, and what is that going to cause? It's going to cause famines, because the governments are not going to be able to keep up with the cost of feeding their population due to the war. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And this is what you see. You're seeing the weaker nations not being afraid of Babylon anymore. You got North Korea, puffing their chests out. Iran puffing their chests out. All these smaller nations, which at one point, couldn't stand up to America, the big bully, they're now standing up to it because of their technology, and also because they're aligning themselves with Russia and amongst one another. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat, which means the Most High judgment. The valley of the Most High judgment is Armageddon, Armageddon, the mountain of truce, the Middle East region. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So it's going to be Yahweh Shah coming down there to bring judgment on the nations over there in that region. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fast overflow, for their wickedness is great. That's right. So, these nations, they're going to get put in a blender, man. The missiles are going to, utterly wipe them out, right? It says, the fast overflow for their wickedness is great. And that reminds me of Isaiah 63, where the Lord said he's going to get his garments bloody with the blood of the Edomites. He's going to tread them in his anger. That's going to be the missiles, man. The missiles is like Yahweh Shah stepping and grinding, these insects, man. It says, multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So it's going to be millions and hundreds of millions of military men over there in that region, man. Because you got to think about it. China got, over 2 million military men, reserve. 1 million active and some reserve. Russia got, I think close to 1 million reserve, if I'm not mistaken. But you got a few countries that got over 1 million men available to go to war right now. And we're not talking about when a military draft is implemented. So we talking hundreds of millions of bodies, over there in the Middle East region, man. Multitudes and multitudes. It says the sun and the moon shall be darkened and the stars shall rejoice their shining. Yeah, because the missiles are gonna block out the sky. That the ash, the smoke is gonna cause a nuclear winter. Right? So it says, and the Lord also shall roll out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. That's right, because Yahweh Shah is coming right in the midst of those missiles coming down. The earth is going to reel to and fro like a drunkard, right? And in the midst of all of that, the Lord is going to save his elect. That's why he's going to say, come out of her, my people. And they sit up to heaven. Matter of fact, let's get that. I think it's Revelation 11. And this is Revelation chapter 11, verse 12. It says, and they heard a great voice. Matter of fact, Revelation 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, which is a fulfillment of Ezekiel the 37th chapter of the dry bones awakening. Being covered with sinews and things of that nature. That represents our people being in a dead state, due to wandering from the way of understanding, as it is written, that makes you part of the congregation of the dead. So our people not knowing who they are, not knowing Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, has them as in a dead state, right? So after 3 days and a half, which is 350 years of us being in bondage and, not having any knowledge of self, the Most High put the Spirit upon our Bivens, to teach the truth of the Bible. And that's when our people started waking up, right? It says, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And this is what's happening. You're seeing all these camps all over the world is putting fear on these heathen nations, that the Most High is getting ready to judge them. And this is why they're trying to speed up this newer order, because they know that their time is short. It says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So while the missiles are coming down, Yahweh Shah is going to save his elect, beam him up into the chariot, the so-called, mothership that Esau called it. We call it the fathership, the gigantic chariot that Yahweh Shah is coming up on. It says, and they ascended up to heaven in the cloud, and the enemies beheld them. And Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, tells you, what is going to be their thoughts when they see the elect going up, saying, this is he whom he has sometimes in derision, these niggas, these black people, these Mexicans, the fuck they doing going up in those ships, man? Why I ain't going up? I'm black too, because you're going to have 2/3 of our people down here, when the missiles come too. They're not going to make it. right? But you're going to have these nations, these heathens, being amazed that the people they always been looking down upon being delivered from this destruction. It says, in the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. Yeah, going into the destruction of America, right? It says, and the 10th part of the city fell, which when you look at the FEMA, they divided America into 10 different regions. It says, and the earthquake was slain, and the earthquake was slain of men 7,000, which represents, a complete amount of people, and mainly Edomites. You circle white people because that'll be a judgment. And the remnant were affrighted and give glory to the God of heaven, right? Because, it's going to be a fearful thing, to witness all that chaos, missiles coming down, UFO invasion, famine, chaos, people losing their minds. It's going to be very scary, man, right? Just like how it was scary in Exodus when the Lord brought us out of Egypt through the Red Sea. It was a scary thing. You seen, walls of, the ocean next to you. You walking at the bottom of the sea. The Egyptians chasing you. It was a lot of adrenaline rush, right? All the way to the Most High drawing the Egyptians. So, it's going to be a similar fashion, because the scriptures tell you that we're going to be singing the song of Moses when, we get delivered. Lord's will be part of the elect, right? So, that's it on that. Let's get Jeremiah. I think is it 50 or 51? Slakia. No, Slakia, Jeremiah 51, I think. Might be 50, where it says, the Lord is gathering the nations against Babylon. Matter of fact, I'm going to read this right here. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 14. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, which is going into these nations that have the nuclear capability and that's going to acquire nuclear capability. Because right now you got a lot of nations that's not nuclear, but they're going to go nuclear. That's why we read they're going to beat their swords into they're going to beat their plowshares into swords, right? It says, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. And those arrows is going into what? The missiles, right? The scriptures talk about arrows being shot from one part of the earth to the other. The Lord's will, I'll get that too. It says, shout against her round about, she hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her, as she hath done, do unto her. That's right, so it's going to be the Lord's vengeance when these missiles come down upon Babylon. Right. Let's see. Yep. This is I'm gonna jump down to verse 22. It says, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. And this is the time that we in, right? And the sound of battle. This is all we're hearing about. Yahweh Shah spoke about there being wars and rumors of wars, right? So we're in the midst of that now. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? So America has been the hammer that's been smashing and destroying countries all over the globe. But now the Lord is going to smash America off the globe by the way of those missiles. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, that snare being Iran, because their plan was to attack all these different countries, Afghanistan, Libya, Sudan, all these different Middle Eastern countries, well, North African, Middle Eastern countries. And, the last one on the list was Iran. But that last one on the list is the snare that the Lord set up for Esau, because Iran is backed by Russia, you see? And the Lord is going to use Russia as their allies to destroy America. It says, I have slayed a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. So you're not aware that this is the Lord setting you up, for your own demise, for your own destruction. The Lord gave you that technology to destroy yourself. He said he created the smith that blows the coals in the fire. He's the one that gave you the technology of atomic energy, then to nuclear, thermonuclear, The Lord did that. It says the Lord have opened his armory. So those missiles, all those weaponry, that's the Lord's armory, and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. So Yahushua is coming with those missiles. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, power of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. So the land of the Chaldeans is America, right? I'm going to jump down because this is a long chapter. It says, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. Camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she have been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. Those archers is those nations that's going to have that technology. The missiles being the arrows, right? I'm going to jump down. It says, verse 39, therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, as Yahweh shall overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell in it. So this is the judgment of Babylon the Great, right? This is the judgment of Esau Edom, the so-called white man, right? Because when you read Jeremiah 49 and 17, it says, also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. So Esau Edom is tied to Babylon the Great, right? In which Babylon the Great is due to be destroyed. Revelation, the 18th chapter, it goes into that too. Let's go. Revelation 18. And this is Revelation 18:7. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, speaking about America. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. That's the pride of Babylon. They don't think they could get taken down, right? They think they're going to be the best country in the world. America first. America is back. They have a proud mindset. It says, therefore shall her place come in one day, death, mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah power who judgeth her. So America's downfall is going to be very quickly, right? We're going to see all those plagues, the famine, the chaos and everything leading right into the missiles. And when the missiles come, it's going to be in 1 hour that it takes to take this place out. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. That's right. So in 1 hour is America going to get taken out. Babylon the Great, ruled by the Edomites, the so-called white man, right? It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy for their merchandise anymore, because these nations make their riches by selling to America. That's why America putting tariffs on them is hurting their businesses, because, the American people have to pay more to buy their goods, which, they end up losing a lot of money because people can't afford to, right? And, it goes into different things that Babylon the Great sells, and I'm going to jump to 17. It says, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors, and as many trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dung on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. That's right. So, in 1 hour, America is going to get taken out. Their destruction is going to be very swift, right? Let me get this. Revelation. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 12. It says, the earth quaketh and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. That's right, because as Yahushua is coming, the missiles is going to be pelting America off the face of the earth, and it's going to cause a great earthquake. It's going to cause, as we read in Isaiah 24, the earth to reel to and fro like a drunkard. Right? It says, the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp. The arrows are the missiles, and they're very precise, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. That's right. So shows you that those arrows, those archers, they're going to be shooting missiles at America, not actual arrows. Right, though the arrow is a symbolic term for a missile, because that's what they are. They're nothing but modern missiles, right? Modern arrows, So So now we can end off with Isaiah the 24th chapter. This is Isaiah chapter 24. Let's see. Okay. This is Isaiah chapter 24, verse 5. It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. That's right. So Yahweh Shemashah's laws, is not being upheld in the land. This is the reason why this judgment is coming. Just like during the time of the flood, the laws of Yahweh Shemashah weren't being upheld. Right? It says, verse 6, therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. So this is why the World War III is coming, because the laws of Yahweh Shemashah not being upheld, and for what happened to his people, right? The earth is gonna burn, and few men left. So this World War III is gonna be the result of billions of people dying. It says, and the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry hearted do sigh. The mirth of tabret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. Yeah, because we're coming into a time of mourning. Ain't gonna be no more partying and clubbing. You seen inflation being at an all-time high. Joblessness is at an all-time high, right? Crime is gonna increase. This is where 2 Ezra 15 and 2 Ezra 16 is gonna come into pass. It says, they shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of insecurity in the streets. So people are going to stay in their houses to not potentially get put to death. It says, there is crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. So America's coming into a state of mourning, man. No more going to clubs. No more, big partying and barbecue in the summer. We're coming into a time of mourning, and the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction, right? Now I'm going to jump down to verse 17. It says, fear in the pit and the snare upon thee, O inhabitants of the earth. It says, and it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. That's right. So, fear and the pit and the snare, like the scriptures go into Amos, how what is it 5? The day of the Lord is gonna be as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into a house and leaned his hand on a wall, and a serpent bit him. So there's gonna be no escaping the judgment and wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It says, for the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. So there's gonna be no iron dome that's gonna be able to stop this coming destruction. Right? Just like how in the time of the flood, there was no protection from that flood. The windows from on high were open. Nobody was able to escape from the flood. So nobody's going to be able to escape from the missiles. No matter if there's an iron dome, that's not going to take down, 200 million missiles, 200 million warheads. That's impossible, man. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. So the heavens being dissolved, and melt, the elements melting, that's going to be by the way of those missiles, man. Right? And it's going to move the earth exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. So once America gets taken down, the so-called white man is never coming up into rulership. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth, going into these elites, the bankers, those J-ish people that rule the world, right? The presidents of those other nations, the elite families among those other nations, right? They're going to be gathered together as prisoners, right? It says, and they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days shall they be visited. So they're going to be gathered how? By the way of Yahushua commanding his elect to go gather them. Because the scriptures tell you in Isaiah the 2nd chapter that they're going to hide in the holes of the rocks. They're going to be in their bunkers to try to hide from the face of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, to try to not, see Yahushua on that chariot, man. That's going to be a terrible sight, right? But after the destruction, when everything start clearing up, the Lord is going to commend his men to go gather them. That's why the scriptures say the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. So it says, it shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Yeah, so, they're going to be shut up, and we're going to go, gather the rest of the heathens. And after that, it's going to be time for judgment, time for them to cleanse the land. Pursuant to Ezekiel the 37th chapter, that's going to be their first job, is to clear the Middle East off of those dead bodies, man. Right? And after 1,000 years of captivity, they're going to get utterly annihilated. So with that, I hope this was edifying. I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Achakodash. Peace and double honor to the apostles and elders of JMS to give us his truth and all the spirituality, and salutations to all you out can preach this word throughout the four corners of the earth and sincerity and the truth. Shalom.